What's up, fam? It's your girl Jen Ether. You're watching another episode of Jumping Off the Porch. We got a good one right now. We're about to get into this clip with Will Smith. Congratulations to the guy Will Smith. He just dropped his self-titled book. It's titled Will. So I'm definitely probably gonna grab that up. That's my guy. I've been a fan of Will Smith ever since Fresh Prince. Of course, parents just don't understand all that, but really, I honed into Will during the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air era. I was coming up when that show was on TV, so that was like a staple for us to go home. I think it came on like Thursday night or something. So that was the thing. So Will Smith is going to break down his synopsis of fear and kind of like how he deals with it and just his discoveries of the whole process. And then you know what it is. We'll get back to my end and then I'll break it down with some insights that I got for you guys. So we're going to get right into it. Will Smith speaks on fear. All right, y'all.
Gave that girl a piece of me. She broke me down indecently. I gave that girl a piece of me. She broke me down indecently. But now she claiming that she needed me. Should I give her a piece of me? But now she claiming that she needed me. Should I give her a piece?
So, yeah, for me, the daily confrontation with fear has become a real practice for me since about three years ago. I went skydiving in Dubai, right? And skydiving is a really interesting confront with fear, right? So I gotta stand up. I'm sorry, I gotta stand up. All right, so all your friends, what happens, you go out, I dropped my thing.
Yeah.
So what happens is you go out the night before and you take a drink with your friends and somebody says, yeah, we should go skydiving tomorrow. And you go, yeah, we'll go skydiving tomorrow, yeah, and you go, yeah, and everybody goes, yeah, right? And you go home you by yourself, you're like, right? And you're like, well, I mean, they was drunk too. Right, so maybe they not, maybe, I mean, we don't have to go, we don't have to do it. So then that night you're laying in your bed and you just keep, and you're terrified, you keep imagining over and over again jumping out of an airplane and you can't figure out why you would do that, right? And you're laying there and you have the worst night's sleep of your life, but you still have the hope that your friends were drunk, right? So you wake up the next day and you go, down and you say where you were going to meet and everybody's there. You're like, oh, shit. All right, cool, right? So you get in the van and you don't know that your friends had the same night that you had because they're pretending like they didn't. They're like, yeah, man, my uncle's a Navy SEAL and, this is going to be great. I've been looking forward to this. And you're like, oh, my God. And your stomach is terrible. You can't eat and everything, but you don't want to be the only punk who doesn't jump out of this airplane. So you get there, and then you have this safety brief. And you're standing there, and the guys will tell you, well, if the chute doesn't open, what's going to happen is well, why the hell, what could happen? That the chute wouldn't open, right? So you do a thing, and what you do is your first jump, you're attached to a guy who is going, he's going to walk you out. So you go, and you get there, and there's an airplane, and nobody's stopping. Everybody's still going. So you get onto the airplane, and you're sitting there, and it's extra because you're sitting on some dude's lap, some stranger. You're sitting on his lap, and it's like, you're trying to make small talk. Yeah, man. So you be jumping with people all the time, huh? Right? So, and then you just want to make sure, you got kids, right? You got people you need to see, right? You just want to make sure he's serious, right? So you get in there, so everything's normal. So you fly and you go up to 14,000 feet, and you notice there's a light. It's red, and it's yellow and green, right? So right now the light's red. So then you start thinking at some point the light's going to go green, but you don't know what's going to happen, right? And you wait, and it goes yellow, and the light goes green, and somebody opens the door, and in that moment you realize you've never been in a freaking airplane with the door open. Right? Terror. Oh, sorry, I'm spitting. Oh, sorry. No, terror. Right? So you go, and then you know, if you were smart, you sat in the back so you don't go first, right? And then people start going out of the airplane. And you go, and the guy walks you up to the end of the thing, and you're standing and your toes are on the edge, and you're looking out down to death. And they say, on 3. And they say, 1, 2, and he pushes you on 2 because people grab on 3, right? Right? And you go, and you fall out of the airplane, and in 1 second, you realize that it's the most blissful experience of your life. You're flying, right? It doesn't feel like falling, right? It's like you actually are kind of held a little bit by the wind, and then you start falling, and there's zero fear. You realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear. It's bliss. It's bliss. And you're flying, right? And you're doing that, and then 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 40 seconds, and you have enough time to just kind of be like, oh, shit, that's that building. That's not like that one. Oh, you can see the ocean. Right? You start doing all of that, and the lesson for me was, why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Just don't go. Why are you scared in your bed 16 hours before you jump? Why are you scared in the car? Why could you not enjoy breakfast? What did you need that? The fear is fear of what? You're nowhere even near the airplane. Everything up to the stepping out, there's actually no reason to be scared. It only just ruins your day. You don't have to jump. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life. You know? Mm-hmm. So that was sorry. So that was,
no, it's good.
That was my experience with skydiving and fear.
All right.
I hope you guys enjoyed the clip. When I watched it, I was kind of impressed with his storytelling skills because we're so used to seeing Will literally with a script. So it's nice to see him just be improv and just, telling his story from his perspective. That's why I think his book's going to be an interesting read because Will Smith's been in the music industry and just in the industry as a whole for so long, y'all, since he was like probably 15, 16, since he was a kid. So his book's going to be interesting because he's dealt with a lot in that process, and he's literally had to deal with it with us actually viewing him, through the whole way. So I think that's a big reason on why he's even writing the book. A lot of people are probably saying, why do we even care? Even with a lot of stuff that comes out with him and Jada, it's like, why are you telling us this stuff, right? But you gotta think about it. Both of them grew up in front of the camera, so we've lived and shared most of their moments with them, from the marriage, everything. We've been with them, so it kind of makes sense that they're even sharing things publicly, and the most we can do is get the gems from it, because at the end of the day, they're being selfless with us, and they're really showing us how they're evolving, and the shit that they're dealing with is probably a lot more strenuous than the things that we have to deal with on a regular basis. You feel me? More money, more problems. That's just a fact. So, when we're going to break down fear and what fear is, I think Will definitely did a good job. And the key point that I want to focus on is really the very end of the story, where he was just like, some of the greatest things in life are on the other side of fear. And that is a fact, y'all. Some of the greatest things in life are on the other side of fear. So what our trick is going to be overcoming the fear. Now, I have a very close relationship with fear. I do things that I'm scared to do quite often. Maybe not every day, but quite often I'm challenging myself. Whether it's me challenging myself to pick up a skateboard and learn how to skate, or if it's me challenging myself to learn how to mix and master this music, or if it's just me challenging my thought process. a lot of times I have to challenge old ways of thinking and shift those out and put myself into a new dynamic where I'm seeing things a lot differently. There could be something that I viewed a certain way 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago that without me being, basically if I was too afraid to switch up, too afraid to open my mind to different possibilities, to different angles, then it would make me be stuck. Even when I think about my journey throughout spirituality, I don't know if you guys who watch the Jumping Off the Porch watch my tarot, but I also do the tarot readings. And that, I mean, I'm at tarot right now, but that doesn't mean I'm going to always do tarot. And that's not going to say that I'm going to say, F tarot. I really do appreciate and enjoy all the insights that you get out of doing it, right? It's one of the great tools that you can use to get insights. But what I'm saying is, this is where I'm at now. I have been a Christian. That's where I started. And there has been so many journeys throughout the years that even got me to even experiencing tarot. You know what I mean? So throughout that time, I had to really be okay with expanding my mind, expanding the ideas that I thought I already knew, to be able to put new ideas in and discover new things. If you block yourself off, then you can't get to that other side. So I've experienced it in many different ways. And the main thing you have to remember is fear is really an illusion. It's an illusion. It's something based upon an outcome that you have no idea of what's going to happen. You can't really tell the future. So that's why I say fear is an illusion. Now, another key thing that I have found with fear when it comes to overcoming fear is the more information, the more education, the more knowledge you have on a certain subject or anything that you're dealing with, just the more you can understand it, the less fear you have. Most of the time we fear the things we don't understand. What they say, people fear the unknown. So if there's something, a goal, a dream, an ambition, something that you want to accomplish, but you feel yourself being fearful of doing it, being fearful of taking the first step, that probably means you need to begin to educate yourself more. Begin to even look up people who took the first step. A lot of times it's best for us to even research people where we're at today. You know what I mean? So Will Smith is very rich, very abundant. As far as that goes, he's made it as far as him fulfilling that side of his life purpose, you know, stepping within his purpose to become an actor, a rapper, and then going on. I think the book and him sharing these insights is just another level to his purpose. You know, he's leveling up, he's getting older, so his purpose is going to expand, just like our minds must expand. And Will is even showing us that he's conquering fears every day. He's not staying stuck in that celebrity model. He's literally being fearless by opening himself up to give us insights. That takes a very strong person to be able to do that, to be able to be vulnerable in front of people. It's not easy to do. So, at the end of the day, when we're talking about this fear thing, like I said, you want to get more information. That's really the main thing. Once you begin to get more information, then you will begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You'll be able to see yourself stepping into that position, whatever it is. Now, back to doing the research. A lot of times we get caught up researching people who have already made it to the end point. That's fine. But we really need to start researching people. Even if we're going to research the people who made it, research their humble beginnings. You know what I mean? See what steps they took when they were actually right where you're at. Don't go research them from the point where they're already at their highest peak and they're so far beyond where you're at. You want to actually research how they took off, how they literally started. When they were you, what did they do? Because everyone Every human has this innate fear in us. Anytime we're challenging ourselves to go further, to do more, to reach higher, anytime you do that, you're going to ignite fear within you. It's literally your ego trying to protect you. Your ego is the thing that keeps you safe. So the fact that you're embarking on a journey into the unknown, that makes your ego say, hold your horses. What the hell are you doing? Chill out, buddy. No, right? Because the ego's job is to protect you. So that's where the ego can have the catch-22, gift and a curse. So your job is to begin to slowly break down those barriers by learning what it is, getting more information, getting more comfortable, and slowly stepping into it. These are the things that are going to overcome your fear. But the reason why you want to research even those who've gone far beyond you, but research them from the point where you're at today, is because when, let's say it's Kanye you want to be. Kanye, he said he's sitting on 8 billion. Let's say you want to be Kanye. Research Kanye, his stories of when he was in the department store, the Gap, when he was stealing clothes. See if you can find that information about Kanye. What put him on? What made him? How did he get into the studio to even meet Jay? How did he go from the Gap to the studio? Research all of that shit, because that's the most helpful tips for you right now. You want to research the people who made it, but you want to start from where you can see their trail, where they actually made it from where you are to where they are. The important part of this is to know, like I said, we're all born with that fear because we're challenging our egos. So that means that Kanye, when he was in the Gap, the person that Kanye is today, he was terrified of. He didn't know if he could make it there. He didn't know if it was a reality. He didn't know if he was just being crazy, just thinking of some crazy stuff. He works at the Gap stealing clothes. How could I ever do this? So he had to break through barriers. So that's why you want to research people where they started. And then you can follow them. I'm not saying don't research their wins and all that. Yes, that's important. But to see the inception, to see how they got the spark, and then to see how they first began to take them baby steps to step into it, and then to know, like, damn, this is where they started and then they ended here, that's going to give you a little bit more key into, like, the type of mindset it takes to conquer your fear. So I hope this was helpful, y'all. I'll be back with another one. As always, I appreciate it. Anyone who's tuned in, anyone that wants more insight, we're going to get into it. Also, I'm doing the music marketing. So all of this stuff that we're talking about, overcoming fears, this is all encompassing one idea. I mean, it's just really about us stepping into our goals or stepping into our life purpose so we can accomplish our goals.
Gave that girl a piece of me. She broke me down indecently. I gave that girl a piece of me. She broke me down indecently. But now she claiming that she needed me. Should I give her a piece of me? But now she claiming that she needed me. Should I give her a piece? Pretty brown eye.